Good morning, respected dignitaries, distinguished panelists, fellow students, and the members of the CA fraternity. I, Amrita Pai, take pleasure in extending a warm welcome to each one of you to Day 2 of Vimarsh, CA Students Mega Conference, hosted by the Mangaluru branch of SIRC of ICAI and the Mangaluru branch of SICASA of ICAI, under the esteemed guidance of the Board of Studies Operations ICAI. With many donors stepping up yesterday, the response to the donation drive was truly inspiring. If you haven't contributed yet, now is the perfect time to step in, even as a first-time donor. Every drop matters. Your contribution could save a life. I hope you're feeling all refreshed and recharged. Aren't you all? Okay, so because what's coming up next is truly exciting and empowering. Now it's time for our Skill Up Session 2, a session curated to mark your ambition and help you explore the exciting horizons that lie ahead as you qualify as a chartered accountant. Opportunities surround us, waiting to be seized by those with vision and courage. While the world rightly sees the chartered accountants as technically sound professionals, there's much more that lies beyond the qualification. From starting your own practice, stepping into the startup ecosystem, launching your own ventures, or venturing into the niche advisory services. This panel discussion brings together accomplished chartered accountants, practitioners, entrepreneurs, and innovators who have not only navigated this journey, but have carved their own unique path in the vast professional universe. The theme of the session is Think Beyond, the Chartered Accountant's Path to Versatile Careers. Our expert panel will explore how a CA qualification becomes a launchpad, not a limit. We are honored to have CA Prasanna Mangalpady moderating this session, a seasoned professional with deep expertise in information system audit. Please join me in warmly welcoming Sir. Can I get a big round of applause for Sir? Let's also extend a gracious welcome to our inspiring panelists for this session, each of them a trailblazer in their own right. Their stories promise to inspire, inform, and ignite your imagination. CA Ananthesh V. Prabhu, a passionate food industrialist who's running his family business under the Aruna brand. CA Nithesh Shetty, a dynamic professional with expertise spanning real estate and RERA advisory, India entry services, startup strategy, and business valuation. CA Gajanan Kamath, a visionary finance professional known for his specialization in portfolio management and strategic financial operations. May I request CA Gautam Nayak, past chairman of Mangaluru branch of SIRC of ICI, to kindly escort the moderator and the panelists to the dais. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to introduce CA Prasanna Mangalpady, founding partner of Prasanna Shenoy & Co., a chartered accountancy firm established in 2011. As an accomplished professional, Sir secured AIR 15 in the CA final examinations of 2010. He graduated with a Bachelor of Commerce degree from Canara First Grade College, Mangaluru, securing the second rank at the Mangalore University in 2008. Further showcasing his academic excellence, Sir is a qualified company secretary, having secured the 21st rank in the CS executive examinations. In addition, he holds the prestigious DISA ICAI certification in Information Systems Audit. Sir is a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and has further enriched his professional profile by completing several specialized certification courses offered by ICAI that includes indirect taxes, concurrent audit of banks, and artificial intelligence. With over a decade of experience in advising startups as well as in corporate audit and taxation, he is widely respected in his field. His contributions to the profession extend beyond practice. He has served as a past chairman of the Mangaluru branch of ICI and currently chairs the Income Tax Subcommittee and is a member of the Audit and Accounts Committee at the Canara Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mangaluru. His dedication and contributions to the profession as well as the business community are highly commendable. A cordial welcome to you, sir. I request CA Gautam Nayak to hand over a sapling to Sir to commemorate this occasion. Thank you, sir. I'm delighted to introduce CA Ananthesh V. Prabhu. He completed his schooling at St. Aloysius before joining his family business in 2006. Sir is a managing partner of Aruna Industries, a company established in 1980 that specializes in manufacturing the Aruna range of products that include spice powders, pickles, and curry paste. As a second-generation food industrialist, he has been instrumental in steering the company forward. In addition to his business role, he has served as the president of both the KIA and KCCI and is currently the convener of the CII MSME panel. I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. I request CA Gautam Nayak to present the sapling to Sir as a symbol of lasting connection. Thank you, sir. It gives me immense joy to introduce CA Nithesh Shetty, the founder and managing partner of NCS & Co., a firm headquartered in Bengaluru with branches in Karkala and Mumbai. A graduate of St. Aloysius Evening College, Mangaluru, Sir qualified as a chartered accountant in 2014 at the young age of 21. Since establishing NCS & Co. in 2016, he has built a team of 5 CAs and over 60 professionals steering the company with a tech-forward and agile mindset. His leadership has positioned the firm as a strong contributor to automation and innovation in practice management and client delivery, with his insights often shared on platforms like LinkedIn to benefit the wider professional community. Professionally, he specializes in real estate and RERA advisory, India entry services, startup consulting, and business valuation. He has also served as a CFO of Uttunga Technologies Private Limited, where he played a strategic financial leadership role in a global tech firm with 1,000 plus employees. Beyond his practice, Sir is an active academic contributor and has served as faculty at institutions such as Creative PU College, Jnanasudha, and Amrita Bharati Group. He is also a sought-after speaker on topics including RERA law, the union budget, and technology in finance. In 2024, he was empaneled as a peer reviewer by the Peer Review Board of ICAI, reflecting his continued contribution to professional excellence. A hearty welcome to you, sir. I request CA Gautam Nayak to present a sapling to Sir as a gesture of our welcome. Thank you, sir. I'm pleased to introduce CA Gajanan Kamath, who currently serves as an associate in the portfolio management and finance team at 314 Capital an early-stage venture capital fund house based in Bengaluru, managing over $500 million in Indian and global AIFs. At 314 Capital, Sir plays a key role in the monitoring vertical of the portfolio management team. He closely works with companies across sectors such as consumer, fintech, SaaS, and deep tech, focusing on identifying the critical issues across operations, finance, tax, and regulatory domains to help enhance the business proficiency while ensuring compliance with applicable laws. Before joining 314, Sir was a finance manager at Super AGI, a Series A startup where he independently managed the company's financial operations. He also brings over 4 years of experience from PwC India, where he was a part of the tax team handling due diligence M&A transactions for both listed entities and startups, tax litigation, and other related assignments. I extend a genial welcome to you, sir. I request CA Gautam Naik to present a sapling to Sir as a symbol of our hospitality. Thank you, sir. With that, let's dive straight into the session. Just a reminder, if you have questions for the panel, please send them to the number displayed on the screen. I now hand over the stage to our esteemed moderator, who will navigate this interesting conversation on how to transform your CA degree into your own success story. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I heard a few of the CAs mentioning good morning here. I think students are sleeping, right? The first session in the morning. We have a less crowd because of the BCom examination here. Probably, I requested the SICASA chairman, CA Nitin Baliga, to present the delegate kit today morning because that comes priority to the students. And if it was there, we could have attracted more crowd here. So I will take the seat now. But before jumping into the discussion, why this session particularly? Yesterday, I think we have students from CA Foundation, CA Inter and final level, right? The foundation students will have a question, how to start my journey. So they are still new and yet to understand the intricacies of the CA course. So they want to understand how to start my journey, how to prepare for the examination. When it comes to Inter, they will think where to do the articleship or which firm to select, whether should I go to Bangalore, should I do it in Mangalore, or should I go for some big four? And when it comes to CA final, you want to finish up your articleship and join your job or start your practice, you are on crossroads, right? You either you want to join the job or you want to start a practice or you want to start a business. So for all these questions, we have answers here in this today's session. And moreover, I think all of you have attended yesterday's session, right? All sessions. In the morning, I think our Central Council member, Madhukar sir, mentioned there is no poor chartered accountant. So by then you must have thought that I could set up a practice or start a job and earn more money. Then comes our chief guest, Prasanna. He mentions, he gives a different idea of startup and he's minting money out of that. And you think you will jump into the business. You will start a startup idea, start a business and make money out of that. Then comes session on AI, artificial intelligence. So somebody or someone who has thought starting business or someone who has thought starting a practice, they will think AI will disrupt both. Then comes, I think, financial statement of non-corporate entities. I think Gautam took up the session chairperson. So then you think practice is not good. I think a lot of regulations are coming in. Even they don't allow businessmen to do the business. A lot of regulations are coming in, whether we have to do the business or comply the regulations. Then comes the last session on venture capital investments in startups. Again, you come back to startups. So by the end of the day, you are confused. Whether to start a practice, whether to start an industry, or whether to go for the industrial job. So that's why this session is on the right time to understand their concept, because we have three eminent, distinguished individuals who are successful chartered accountants in their respective path. They have done all the initial level, they have done at the same level. Articleship they have done, inter-final examination, everything they have done. But the path they have selected is different. So we are going to throw more light on what is their journey and how they are going to, how did they start up, and how did they end up in these roles, and how did they accomplish this status or the level of professionalism in their respective roles. So we are going to understand that. So I am going to take a seat now and throw questions on behalf of students. So I will forget that I am a chartered accountant today, and as a student I am going to throw some questions to the respective panelists so that you can get a proper answer in respective cases. So with this brief introduction, I think a huge round of applause for our panelists. Generally, we'll go with the entrepreneur or businessman here. See, Ananthesh sir is here. Sir, you are coming from a business background, like your family is into the business. And when you started your articleship journey, so generally when I started my articleship, I also have a business background. So in home generally they say, why do you take up CA? You join the business. So what was the thought in your mind, and what was the family support, or how did you end up doing CA course?
Yeah, at the outset, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. It's always amazing and enlightening to be in the midst of bright and young minds. Well, answering your question, I was bitten by the entrepreneurial bug at a very young age, and the bug keeps biting me till date. Ours was a family business. My father and other family members started this family business. My father was a CA, having pursued his articleship in Mumbai, and later on he came to Mangalore and started this business. I was watching him from a very young age, growing his business, and he's a role model to me. And then I used to accompany him to our factory. Well, seeing that I was getting more and more engrossed, he told me quite strictly that you're not going to enter or get involved full-time in the family business until you clear your CA.
So that was one condition put up by your father?
That was a condition, but I was very passionate about joining our family business, and then I got an opportunity to pursue my articleship in A.F. Ferguson and Company, which is now a part of Deloitte's in Bangalore. So the wealth of knowledge I gained during my articleship days, today whatever I am, I owe it to this great profession and my father's guidance.
Good, sir. Coming to Nithesh, so whether when you joined your articleship, whether you had any plans of starting a practice, or did you select the firm wherever you did articleship with an intention of doing practice in future, or how was your articleship experience?
Yes, I think the intention during articleship was not about starting a practice, but I had something very clear on my mind that I should do something on my own. So we didn't had any family background with the business, or none of the family knows what is CA. So randomly joined to a firm where pursued an articleship. But one thing which was very clear from the day one, that I want to do something on my own. And no doubt articleship has given an immense exposure that how you can handle the things right from scratch to a stage where you can get a success in your growth journey. You take any field, it could be an audit. Since we joined to a smaller firms, so I always consider this as an opportunity, because you tend to learn everything about income tax, GST, audit, filing, compliances, and everything. So I think that has given a journey that we can build something on our own and little bigger way. And my own experience says that if you go and join a smaller firm, you feel that yes, we can also do a practice, we can start a practice. And if you go and join a bigger firm like a Big Four or something like that, if I am an article student, I would always feel that yes, so this is too complex to do. I think this articleship journey has given a confidence within us, so that motivated us to start a practice. And yes, it's a good opportunity. And
So
thank you.
generally, there is a perception among students saying that if you want to practice, do articleship in Mangalore. If you want to go for the industrial job, go to the Big Four. What do you think about that?
I don't agree completely on that, because what people thinks that, okay, if I leave this particular Mangalore, I can't come back and do a practice again in Mangalore. But what today every startups, every entrepreneurs are looking is, my chartered accountant should be, he should work with my vision. So that is more than what we as a chartered accountant can offer to them. So I don't agree to that. But if you go and pursue something which is unique and only you are the person to do it, then people will come to you. So that's my opinion.
Question to Gajanan. I think you are into the industry and you have switched or had multiple roles in the industry. So as an article, did you have any corporate experience or maybe the environment where you are working as an articleship or article assistant? Did you get an exposure regarding the industry? That's why you chose to go into the industry?
Not really, but before I get into the question, we're quite happy that I'm sitting with CA Ananthesh here on this dais, and it is CA Ananthesh's dad. We were actually neighbors in the same building, and it is CA Ananthesh's dad who put the CA bug in me when I was in second standard in school, and I was a clueless kid just playing around the streets near my house. It was he who came to me and was like, "What do you plan to become in your life?" And I, as a clueless kid, I didn't have any answer. He asked me, "Okay, I'm a CA, why don't you also become a CA?" So that is the day I actually got to know that something exists like something called CA. So it feels great for me to share the same dais with CA Ananthesh. And so now coming to the question, right? So articleship, I think, plays a very important role in deciding what you want to do going forward, because CA is one of the, I think CA and medical are the only two professions which primarily put you right on the job when you complete your qualification itself, right? So, but there are a couple of things that directly stand out on what you want to do versus like vis-a-vis your articleship experience. So number one, as if you want to do something on your own, right? So there's only two options that you have. Either you can do practice or either you can get into entrepreneurship. But if you don't want to go on that path, if you want to say work for a corporate, then your decisions have to be bifurcated into the industry which you have to work into. Say for example, the moment you clear the easiest option or the much chosen option, obviously because majority of the workforce in Big Fours are CAs, is for people to get into the Big Fours. But why Big Four, right? Why did I choose to go into the Big Four, and how did articleship affect that cause? Is the moment you're in articleship, a very important thing that you have is you're directly on ground with clients. You speak to clients day in, day out, right? So I eventually started getting that feeling, okay, why don't I start servicing the bigger clients, right? So when I was in PwC, I worked for a couple of listed clients as well. So you eventually tracking listed markets, want to become closer to them, want to work closer to them, want to understand how business works. So that played a very important role in.
So basically you'll get a greater exposure in the Big Fours compared to the smaller firms.
I wouldn't put it as blunt as that, honestly. But again, it depends on, like compared to a, say, mid-tier firm working out of a tier 1 or a tier 2 city, they tend to do practice in all sectors, right? They focus on audit, they focus on tax, they focus on regulatory, they focus on everything under the sun. But the moment you work in a Big Four, your exposure is much more specialized, but in a niche category, right? For example, I was in M&A tax, right? M&A and corporate tax, although it's a very fungible word, but So what happens there is I didn't have a lot of exposure around audit. So it is for you to choose, okay, if you have, for me at that point of time, tax was like a very passionate subject. So I chose to go into that field. But otherwise, I think if you are a person who wants to specialize or have expertise across the board, then I think it's much better to get into, say, a mid-size firm, right? Because, and we often only talk about the top 4 cream firms whenever we talk Big 4, but there are today a lot of firms. Like, say for example, I give this example wherever I speak. Kirtane and Pandit is a Pune-based firm. They started 70 years ago. Then they pivoted to IT services. Today they are listed on the market with 36,000 crore market capitalization called KPIT. Right? So even they are much bigger than the Big 4, don't have the brand. So I think we should not look at it only as a Big 4 perspective, but much below as well.
Industry perspective we have to see. Coming to Ananthesh sir, considering your career journey, I think you joined your family business and scaled up successfully. So could you share what inspired you and how CA training helped you specifically?
Yeah, inspiration, as I mentioned earlier, was my father. And the motivation was to take our family business to the next level. And as I told you, I pursued my articleship in AFF, and we had the golden opportunity of auditing files of companies like Hindustan Liver. We had Wiproji Medical Systems. We were internal auditors for Nestle. That was around the time HLL was planning to acquire Modern Foods. So we had an assignment for due diligence. Transfer pricing also as a part of taxation. We were undertaking assignments for Dickinson Fowler, Fowler Westrup, and so on. So what I'm trying to say is, in a nutshell, I got an opportunity to study the internal controls, the systems, the processes of all these well-known companies. And as I had a plan of joining my family business, well, to some extent, I have been able to actually emulate or borrow those systems and processes that I observed into my business as well.
Got it. I think Nithesh, when you started practice, I've seen, I think, your posts on FB or LinkedIn in 2015. A young boy starting his practice with 3 of partners, single individual. Probably you have grown into multi-scale, 5 partners, 60 team members. What was your vision in this career journey, and how did you scale up your practice?
Okay. So initially in 2015, I started the journey as a CA into practice. I was the only one person, and we had 1 staff and maybe 1 article has joined. So that is how we started. But things went on growing, and we felt that this is not something where 1 chartered accountant and 4 articles, 2 staffs can't run the show. So as there are opportunities growing up, you need specialization each of the area, and you need to have if you want to do something big, you need a bigger team. So that is a primary criteria. So that is where articleship I had. Today we are 5 partners, out of which 4 of us have done the articleship in the same firm. So that's where we don't struggle with kind of like, I don't know what is this capability, what is my capability, and understanding, trust. So all these things are not at all an issue for us. So we kept on adding. We had Charan, he headed Mangalore branch, and Sumant was in Bangalore. So we kept on adding the branches. So coordination was not an issue. So I think these are the on an advantageous point of view. But when it comes to challenges, yes, there are multiple challenges that we have faced. But the thing is, having a right mindset and the vision to grow big existed amongst all the partners. So that has contributed immensely to where we are today. since Prasanna reads all my LinkedIn articles, so he knows the entire story, and most of you might have read, so I don't want to repeat the same. So,
Yeah,
thank you.
one takeaway from Nithesh's comments is you can partner with the articleship friends who have worked in the same office, so that the trust issues or the workflow, the methodology, everything I think intersects with each other. With this discussion, I think I move on to Gajanan. So, I think initially, Gajanan, you have moved into the industry as a Big Four consultant or advisor there. Then you moved on to switched multiple industries. What was the need for that, and how did you decide on selecting the industry?
Okay, so once I cleared, as I said, according to me at that point of time when I cleared in 2019, I felt that at the initial years is of clearing once you're a qualified chartered accountant is where you need to build certain core technical competence, because this core technical competence in whatever field it may be stays with you for the rest of your career. And that was the reason at that point of time there was quite a lot of tax exposure as well during my articleship, which helped me pivot to the Big Fours. I was with the Big Fours for almost 4.5 years. But at that point of time, I got a lot into the diligence and the M&A side as well. So the moment you go there, eventually my interest was like, okay, tax rolls up to finance, finance rolls up to business, right? So how do I become more closer to the business? And to become closer to the business is ideally need to work in some place where either they invest in a business or you need to directly work in a business. So that's where I pivoted from the Big Fours to a venture capital firm, because the idea primarily remains the same. You look at quite a lot of companies in a very short period of time. Like say for example at 314 today, we manage almost 100 plus portfolio companies across scale. Like we have almost 10 to 20 to 30 companies today who are just 2 people and a laptop at the early stage. There's nothing, there's still operations yet to begin, it's just an idea. Whereas we also have companies who are on their pre-IPO version, on the stage to file their DRHPs. So you have to work with them on a very different. So that was the primary intention of, okay, I need to move to a VC firm, which allows me to stay much closer to business, work with founders, work with various people across the spectrum, across the ecosystem. So we work with bankers.
So eventually you wanted to explore more ideas and get closer to the business.
Yes.
So that was the reason I think you have explored multiple industries.
Yes.
Coming to Ananthesh sir, I think the CA students have orientation, the advanced MCS, general communication skill course, the ITT. Whether these are helpful in the business as an entrepreneur, or do you need any non-technical skill apart from accounting, finance, everything? What are the non-technical skills they can focus to run a business?
Yeah, I think soft skills such as, maybe communication. You may have a lot of thoughts, ideas, a lot of stuff in you. But if you are not able to communicate it well, I think it's going to be a very difficult task. Secondly, I think the ability to adapt. You should keep upgrading yourself, upskilling yourself. That's very important. A lot of resources, as you know, are available as compared to how it was around 20 years back. And another thing is you have to know to manage stress. I think that is something which I feel is lacking today. I'm sorry to say this. Children tend to get stressed. The level of tolerance is quite low. But then, you should know to anticipate, failures and plan well in advance to overcome them.
Primarily, I think Ananthesh sir mentioned that we have to focus managing the stress, whether it's exam stress or business. Stress is everywhere. You have to manage or learn to manage the stress in the coming days. Nithesh, I think you have ventured into, I think, non-traditional practice areas, probably rather than this tax audit or the bookkeeping or the rest of the things. Keeping away all that, you have ventured into startup CFO or advising the startups or advising your clients on value addition, everything. So what are the skill set that is required for students or chartered accountants to get into that domain?
Yes, as Prasanna rightly mentioned that we have shifted from the traditional ones to the new age area of practice. Definitely the skill set that you possess having into the audit and learning about bookkeeping and all those things and what a modern CFM needs is completely different. The difference is very simple that we always, as an auditor, go and point out, yes, you have not paid TDS, you have not paid GST, you have not filed returns regularly. So these are the things that we do. So we thought it differently. See, the reason for not paying TDS, GST or something is not always the money. There are a lot of challenges that every businessman faces that he may not have a right accounting professionals to guide or a right accountant next to him to tell that, okay, this is important and you have to automate this process. So we thought, why can't we put on to the shoes of the startup entrepreneurs and help them in setting the process right so that you don't end up with any kinds of miscompliances, non-compliances, penalty and all those things. So the first and primary thing that we need to understand is to understand the vision of the promoter. So what is that they're trying to do? And second, how can you make a process very simplified and automated and little professional? So we never thought from that perspective, doing an articleship, following the accounting standards or auditing standards. So these are all not something which we have not heard. But today we are into an era where technology disruptions we are seeing everywhere. If you take it to your advantage, you will shine. And if you just ignore and stay a step behind, I think the market is moving forward to you. So what I would suggest is that we have to be open to get any kinds of skill. Today, if you say a dashboarding or using a program to automate a tool, something which can be done in 1 week will sustain. If you take 2 years to develop one dashboard, nobody is around you. So that is how it is. So I don't say dashboard or AI, that is the language that we speak in 2025. And in 2030, that it could be something else. So only thing, you should be open to change and you have to adopt and implement any changes very faster. So while all your learnings of audit, GST, all these are required because these are the fundamentals on which a modern CFM is built. So that no doubt it is required, but as young professionals, you should be open to change your domain, change your profession every 2 years. So that is my suggestion. Yeah.
So I think taking up the note from Nithesh, we can say that as Ananthesh said, even for the business and even for the practice, we have to be open for change, learn to adapt new things. It's not only about the technology. Whatever comes your way, you have to understand it and implement for the validation of the client. With this fast-paced corporate environment, coming to Gajanan, I think you have completed your articleship, you have entered into the industry. Do you need to upskill yourself during the course of your career, or how do you do that?
Of course, upskilling is, I think, for a CA at least, with the budget coming out every year and the CBIC putting out notifications on every council meeting, I think it's absolutely necessary to stay updated. And this has become quite a lot easier now with the AI coming into the space, right? Obviously, if you're part of a Big Four organization, you have entire teams sitting off. You have, like, every Big Four has their own team, which is just writing out research papers, taking out technical positions. So that helps you stay updated from the technical sense quite a lot. But even otherwise, you have enough, I think, subscriptions today, like Tax Sutra, Taxman. They're really good, giving you very good articles and insights on on technical aspects. But even without technical aspects, and one thing adding to like my fellow panelists, I think one very important thing which CA students, I think, have to really focus on is on business acumen. What we see is today, when people come for articleship to us, what we see is primarily everyone looks at it from an accounting angle, an audit angle, or a regulatory angle, right? Say, for example, if person X is paying person Y some amount, which is a cross-border transaction, and someone comes to you and asks, okay, should TDS apply on this transaction, right? It's very easy to go through the agreement and give an answer, but we all know that accounting as well as tax works on the substance over form principle. So there, it's very important for you to know what's actually happening on the business side. So I think business acumen is something which CA students have to really focus on, because I think that gap is very important to get bridged there.
So ultimately, I think you can take a note from Gajanan saying that you have to develop business acumen to survive in the industry, as well as anywhere, I think anywhere in the world, you need to obtain that. So before going to the next segment, I think we'll have a rapid fire round with the panelists. I think the round is nothing but they have to have answer it in one word or one sentence max. So let's start with Ananthesh sir. Sir, audit file or factory floor?
Factory floor.
One non-CA skill that helped you scale Aruna Masala. One non-CA skill, not a technical skill, that helped you scale Aruna Masala.
Perseverance.
What's your favorite spice other than accounting?
Spice.
Yeah.
Chili.
One quality every CA entrepreneur must have.
Be determined and be persistent.
How often do you check your financials? Daily, weekly, monthly, hourly?
Monthly.
If not a CA, what would you be today?
I would travel.
Travel logger?
Yeah.
Which was tougher, your CA final exams or first day in or first year in managing the business?
The first year in managing my business.
So first year in managing business is tougher than your CA exams?
Because my principal was my father.
The last question, one book every CA student must read if you are into the books.
Alchemist.
Yes sir, thank you. I think moving on to Nithesh. What's the one thing you look for when you hire an article or a student?
Adopt to change.
Excel, Tally or Cloud? What's your weapon of choice?
Cloud.
Physical files or digital documentation?
Only digital document.
The most underrated service area in CA practice? Most underrated service area in CA practice?
Actually bookkeeping, but it is the basic people are ignoring.
Startup founders or traditional businessmen?
Startup founders.
Work from home or office hustle?
Office, no work from home.
Any specific reason for that?
We have all capabilities to do work from home. Technically, somebody who is not well, can't come to office, can do work from home in our organization. But it's not just about Excel, Tally. People has to interact, and so that's why.
One mantra that keeps your team motivated. One mantra that keeps your team motivated.
Grow and keep growing.
Again, last one. One book every CA student must read.
I think till they have to pass institute study material.
Thank you. For Gajanan, first day at Big Four, nervous or confident?
Nervous.
Do you have anything to share the first day experience at the Big Four?
The first day was still okay because the first 1 week is always onboarding. Things start once you, especially in the busy season when I think that a couple of 2-3 months, especially like say tax filing season or when you're stuck on a tax litigation matter, spending burning the midnight oil in office really makes you feel yeshu sapteshu jagrati.
So you're sticking to that theme. Next question. One software tool you use daily that CA students should master?
Chat GPT.
AI. Working late hours or managing multiple deadlines, which is harder?
For me, working late hours.
One myth about Big Four life that you want to break?
That it is toxic, it is not.
What's your go-to stress buster during peak seasons? Do you get time to burst your stress?
Uh, After peak season, maybe, but not during peak season. So maybe a vacation.
One thing articleship didn't teach, but the job did.
Value of your network and relationships.
What keeps you going in a high-pressure environment?
The hunger to grow.
Again, one book every CA student must read, other than ICA material and what sir mentioned.
This is a book which, by the way, is given to every Zepto employee who joins on day one as well, which is called The Hard Things About Hard Things. So it's a very good book which teaches you that you should always counter the harder things first, so that the easier things take care of themselves. So,
Yeah, with this we come to an end of rapid fire question. I think we'll take some questions from the students. I have a couple of questions here. The first question is to Nithesh. I was inspired by CA Nithesh Shetty sir's recent LinkedIn post. He mentioned his story about how he started his practice and how it has flourished. Among students, there is a lot of negativity that starting first generation practices today is hard, and many of those who have started first generation practice have closed either their practice because they cannot break even. What tips would you give to first generation chartered accountants interested in practice, especially in cities like Mangalore and Udupi?
Good question. So I think recent article which I've written on LinkedIn has reached 110,000 impression. So generally, if you write a LinkedIn article, you will get 3 to 4K or maximum 25K. So coming to the question, yes, I completely agree that the first generation chartered accountants coming any time after 2021-22 are failing and closing down the business. As per Institute official record, Prasanna, you can correct me, 1/1/2020, we had 3 lakh chartered accountants in practice, but today we have only 1,57,000 chartered accountants in practice. So that's the reduction of numbers, and it is not increased. The primary reason is now the traditional practices are going to vanish, and it's a diminishing game, no doubt about it. So the primary reason for is now up to 10 crore you don't need a tax audit. Any accountants can do, you don't need a chartered accountant. And the second is the traditional practices or the audit professions, people feel that there is no value addition to us, so they are not ready to pay. So we maintain an accurate timesheet. From last 2-3 years we have accurate timesheet, and not even a single audit was profitable for us, so we stopped taking audits. So one thing is that we put lot of efforts which will not get valued. So my suggestion to a young generation chartered accountant or the first generation chartered accountant is, don't get into a traditional practice, try to do something which can solve problem for many entrepreneurs, not one entrepreneur. So then you have a game to play in the practice. Don't just come to file ITR, come to file GST, come to do a tax audit, which in some years it will become completely automated. Today filing an ITR is like ordering goods in Amazon. So it has become a commodity more than a service. So just don't come with that intention that your principal has started with this and he has grown. So that was long back, and today it's a game for young generations on a new age service. Okay.
So Nithesh sir mentions you have to focus more on new age practice areas, and I think you will definitely flourish if you focus on certain things and you have to take care of certain things in your practice. The question is to Ananthesh sir. You have chosen the business route over CA practice, but do you ever wonder what it would be like the other way around? Would you ever see yourself in CA practice?
Honestly speaking, no, because I was from day one passionate about joining my family business. I had big plans for it even when I was studying. So I think basically you should follow your heart. If you feel that you are cut out to practice, or I think you should follow that. Or if you feel that you have a passion to do something on your own, I think you should take up entrepreneurship. But believe me, it's not a bed of roses. You have to keep persevering, Definitely, it's not a 9 to 5 kind of a job. It's a 24/7, and you should know to handle stress, accept failures, and keep moving on. Obstacles will definitely come your way, but you should never get bogged down.
Good, sir. I think sir is happy with the business and don't want to look at CA practices. And Nithesh and myself will not have any competition from sir anymore. So coming to Gajanan, so there's a question for you from a student. To join into portfolio management, is it necessary for me to have a knowledge of markets and interest in it? What was it like in your case? Is it our own interest or whether interest in that segment is required?
So when we talk about markets, you already also have public markets, private markets. So we as a category 1 SEBI AIF, we can only invest in private markets and startups. So there, yes, you do need to have a lot of business acumen, which I told. You need to know how companies have fared, what did they do right, wrong. You need to have a good outlook on how businesses work, absolutely. Plus, second, you need to know on how do you then manage the operational, the tax, regulatory risks which ideally can arise to a startup in the course of their journey, and how you can help founders to solve it. I think a problem-solving approach with business acumen, I think these 2 points are a must if you want to get into portfolio management.
There's one more question, Gajanan, for you. Yeah, I think it's the same question. What skills should student master if one wants to make a career in portfolio management? And business acumen is primarily required for entering into PMS.
Yeah, just one thing to add. I think with the AI bug coming into town, a lot of manual processes are now being automated. We've had companies with more than 2,000 crores of turnover managing AP and AR with 6 people because of AI automation. So you have companies like Glance, for example, which is a AI-based startup, now reached $20 billion in valuation just by doing AP automation. So there are enough and more AI tools which help you to code with just, you don't need to know Java, you don't need to know any Django script or MongoDB, nothing like that is needed. You can just give English text and you can code with, and you can deploy products. There's a website, you should all try that out, called butternet.ai, butternet.ai. You can just post that I need a website for a CA firm. Within 20 seconds, your website is ready. So content writing, all of this is now all going to be obsolete. So I think as CAs, we are very smart on understanding the technical side of things, but on the coding side, I think we need to have at least, it's a must now that we at least have basic knowledge so that we can now start understanding businesses more and also helping them.
Ananthesh sir, there is one more question for you. How do you personally approach crisis management, especially during challenging times like COVID? How did you navigate and sustain your business?
Well, COVID, as we all know, was quite unexpected. But to our luck, we survived because we had a lot of institutional orders from the government for the kits and so on. We also had a few orders from such ISKCON, Akshaya Patra and so on. So basically, you should believe in yourself, you should keep a cool mind. And the second wave, actually, we were well prepared for it in terms of managing manpower. And although, we had to cut down our manpower drastically owing to the restrictions, but the idea is to, as I mentioned earlier, anticipate, adversities and, be well prepared for it in advance.
Thank you, sir. I think we have multiple questions, but due to paucity of time, we are not able to take it up. But I want to have a concluding remarks from all 3 of you. So in just one sentence, if you say, what would be your message to a 20-year-old CA student who is pursuing a CA course whether it's from your business perspective, practice perspective, and industry perspective. And just in one sentence, you can give your concluding remarks.
Yeah, again, dream big. Don't be content with mediocrity, and most importantly, you should know to give back to the society. Be grateful to whoever has been on this journey. That's very important.
Nithesh.
So, I just want to say that you are on the right path. Pursue it, whether it is practice or a job or a business. The hard work, dedications, and the perseverance that you put during your articleship will never go waste. So, you are getting rewarded for the efforts that you put in this precious 2 or 3 years of your life. Thank you.
From my side, I think have the hunger to grow and grow. Don't ever, even once you clear your CA, don't think that, okay, you've achieved. Honestly, it's a very big achievement, but that's not the end of the world. So dream big and have the hunger to grow always, and work a lot on your interpersonal skills, I think, and networking, because at the end of the day, you are who your network is, and start building a personal brand for yourself. I think these are my concluding remarks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, panelists. So huge round of applause to our panelists. So one thing is for sure, whether it is business, whether it is practice, and whether it is industry, you should have a hunger to grow, you should have a business acumen, and you should have the adaptability to change. So everywhere there is a change, and no one can stop that change. Change is for good always. So try to adapt to that, and hopefully get inspired by all their stories, aspire to achieve more, and excel in your life. All the best.
What a treasure trove of insights, real-world inspiration, and practical wisdom that was. On behalf of the organizing committee and every aspiring chartered accountant in this room, I extend our deepest gratitude to our moderator and the panelists for sharing their journeys so candidly. I request CA Prashant Paike and CA Nitin Balga to present the token of gratitude to our esteemed guests.